Your fastest path to 7 figures online is right here, right now, inside this training. All you have to do is watch and take action on what I'm about to share with you. So let's get right to it, you guys. Here's what we're going to cover in today's training. This is going to be a simple, no fluff, no theory training. I'm going to deliver it to you from a 10,000-foot overview all the way down to the actionable tactics that you can go put and play today. Okay, and this is important. The first thing I'm going to go over is the formula. Then I'm going to give you the foundation, the blueprint, and I'm going to identify the big gap that most people don't talk about in online marketing, and AKA how you can start making money online, okay? And then I'm going to give you your 4-step path, the fastest path to 7 figures. And then I'm going to give you 9 key mindsets and beliefs, right? You guys, these are critical to your well-being. These are critical to your health, your state of being. These are critical to you being able to maintain a level of calm and steady progress, okay? Without these, you will find yourself overwhelmed and frustrated. So we all know mindset is important, and these are critical, okay? And then at the end, I'm going to wrap up this presentation, and the meat and potatoes, if you will, the payoff to you is this 4-step framework. This 4-step framework is proven, it's tested, and might honestly be the most valuable piece of training you get with regards to running an online business. I'm going to show you how to use this 4-step framework to always know exactly where you're at and where you're trying to get to. Picture one of those signs that you see in the mall that says you are here. That's what this 4-step framework is going to do for you. And then as a bonus, I will show you another way to use this 4-step framework that has nothing to do with building your online business and everything to do with getting high ticket clients. So if you're in the agency type of business or a time trade consulting coaching business, you will love the 4-step framework for just that aspect. Now, the other thing is I want you to understand the reason I'm going to deliver this training to you from this top down is because there's no shortage of trainings out there to teach you how to create an online course. But let's be honest, you don't need to know how to create an online course if you don't know how to market it and sell it or get it online. And there's lots of trainings out there on how to do paid ads, but if you don't know how to create great offers and funnels that convert, then you don't need traffic, right? You need to have a clear understanding of how all of these pieces fit together. And so these are the 4 pieces of the training that I'm going to give you. This is a culmination of over 12 years of experience, multiple 7-figure businesses, multiple 6-figure businesses, dozens of 6 figures. And I put it together in a very simple, I don't know, this training might be 30, 45 minutes. I do encourage you to take notes, okay? You can screenshot, but there's no replacement for getting out a pen and paper or pencil and paper and taking notes. So let's just jump right into it right now. We're going to see how long it takes us to give you this training. Now, at the end of this, I'm going to ask you to take action on what you learned and come back and report what you learned, what the results were, what the takeaways were. So the overview is right here. The most commonly accepted formula when it comes to online marketing is simply traffic plus conversions. It's kind of been expanded to traffic plus offers equals conversions, or another way that people say it is the only 3 things you need to focus on are offers, traffic, and conversions. But let's be honest, like, what the hell does that mean? If you've been in the game for a while, you already found out there are literally dozens, possibly hundreds of moving parts. And these moving parts many times become the focus when in reality, all they are distractions to keep you from making progress towards your goals, okay? And if you follow Tony Robbins at all, he will tell you that a key to happiness is making progress daily. So when I first got started back in 08, 09, the only formulas that were out there were traffic and conversions. And I just want to preface this by, I don't believe people created this with a malicious intent. It's just that they were already so successful at it. People are doing millions of dollars a day. Imagine that, $1 million in a day back in 2008. was crazy. So it was something they were just doing, and so they had boiled it down to the two major components, traffic and conversions, which is true. But again, what the hell do you do with that? In about 2014, I read a statement that gave me so much clarity, right? It took the traffic and conversions and made it make sense. And it said the most dependable and consistent way to generate wealth is to turn advertising into profit. Now let's unpack that for a moment. What do most people want when they're starting an online business? Most people want a dependable and consistent income. Dependable and consistent way to generate wealth, right? This is what most people are after. So how do you do that? Well, it tells you. You have to turn advertising into profit. Advertising, traffic. Profit comes from an offer being sold, and there's a margin, and those are the conversions. So, right, it tells you if you want dependable and consistent wealth, income, you have to turn advertising into profit, right? You have to take traffic, get that traffic to buy something, so you have conversions, and there's your profit. Again, I was 4 years, 5 years into the game, and that was like a light bulb. It was like, oh, it makes so much sense. Fast forward a couple years, I noticed something was happening. I was continuing to hit this wall, right? That wall of like I would make some progress, I would break through a little income ceiling, and then I would hit the wall again. And it was just driving me nuts, you guys. I was like, why does this keep happening? Like, what the hell am I doing wrong? Like I spent 4 years following the model, traffic and conversions, and I made a little bit of money, but I kept hitting a wall, couldn't get past it. And then I learned this foundational statement. And we had some breakthroughs. And I was like, oh, this is great. We have it all figured out. And then kept hitting the wall again. It was driving me nuts. That's when I realized that there's a huge gap. A big, like Grand Canyon size gap. And most people don't tell you about it. But the gap is content. Okay, now you might be thinking, Drew, this isn't anything new. Content's king, right? They've been saying this since before funnels. True. But most people in the context when speaking content are thinking about on-page content, copywriting, emails, video content. Most people are thinking about content with regards to their funnel and or their course, which would be the middle of the funnel or the bottom of the funnel, i.e. your memberships. What most people are glossing over is the volume and the type of content that you have to create on the top of the funnel. Now in the beginning, people would relate to that top of the funnel content as like press releases and blog posts and things like that. But now it's specific to do with ads, okay? With paid ads. And so knowing that, figuring that out, I created this simple little algorithm or blueprint. It's called 4AE plus CAL plus PCF plus IO equals $. Go ahead and write that down. I'm going to break it down for you here in just a few minutes and tell you exactly what it means and give you the exact steps so that you can go implement it. So again, it's 4AE plus CAL plus PCF plus IO equals $. So go ahead and write that down, and I'm going to share with you exactly what that means in just a moment. Okay, so moving on here. So the fastest path, your fastest path to 7 figures online is right here. Number 1, define your offer. Now here's a little tip. Create your one offer. And do not, hear me out, do not change your offer for every Tom, Dick, and Harry you come across. Let me explain. As a consultant, for years, I would get leads and they would want, one person would want X, Y, Z, and I'd say, sure, I can do that. And another person would want, 1, 3, and 5, and I'd say, okay, I could do that. And one person would say, well, I want A, B, C, and okay, I could do that. So I was creating new offers for every client. The cost of that was I was not able to structure my day so that I could time block. I wasn't able to structure my projects or tasks in a way that I could hire people and delegate because every single project and every task was unique. So when I discovered that mistake, it helped me immensely. So create one offer, do not change it for everyone. All you have to do is create that one offer and then go find the people who want and need the offer, okay? Find the people who want and need it. Now, you need to test and validate offers. What I mean by that is not every offer is created equal, you guys. Not every offer is going to sell the way you think it will. Some will do better, some will do worse. So you need to test and validate offers, and you want to do that first before you go build out crazy courses and video content funnels. You want to test and validate first, okay? Now, in doing this, sometimes you need to go find the traffic. And I'm going to give you a pro tip here. If you don't already have your niche, if you don't already know who you're serving and how you're serving them, and you're just starting out and you've not chosen this, then the pro tip is to go find the traffic first. Go find the audience first. Go find that group of people who are unreasonably passionate about what it is they're doing. So I'll give you an example. Back in 2015, I was at the first Funnel Hacking Live event in Las Vegas, and it was first being introduced to ClickFunnels and a lot of this funnel stuff. And although I already had a 7-figure funnel at that point, it was not with ClickFunnels. It was before the whole ClickFunnels movement. And so I went there, I learned some stuff. I went to my hotel room with my 2 business partners. We went on to ClickBank. We found some paleo products because we knew the paleo space was hot and trending. We built a funnel in our room that night. We turned on ads that night. And before we left the event, we had leads coming in and sales. Fast forward over about 2 months, we built a list of over 8,000 people, and we had to shut down the funnel because none of us were paleo, and we were being overwhelmed with people sending us emails and Facebook messages asking us about recipe substitutions. And so we chose to shut that down. But the point being is we found an audience first, then we put an offer in front of them, okay? Now, step 2 on your fastest path to 7 figures is to map and build out your simple, notice the words I use, conversion mechanism. Notice I didn't say funnel here. Here's why. Everyone's telling you need a funnel. Funnels are great. You might need a funnel. In the beginning, you might not need a funnel. Or your funnel might look very different in the beginning than what it ends up looking like a month down the road or 2 months down the road. So you want to focus on what your conversion mechanism is. I have MVP asterisk there for a minimum viable product. You want to use the minimum viable concept, right? You want to do as little as possible in the beginning while you're testing and validating offers. Number 3, once you have it tested, once you have validated, you've built out your conversion mechanism, be it a funnel or not, now you need to drive traffic to it. And there's really 2 types of traffic. There's really 3, but when you're starting out, I'm going to assume there's only 2. The first 2 are organic. People like to call it free traffic. Listen, I want to caution you here. It is not free. Yes, it might be free of you spending money out of your pocket, but it takes your time. And here's a newsflash. Your time is far more valuable than the pieces of paper in your pocket that you call money. Second type is paid traffic, right? You got to pay for ads. You got to pay Facebook or Google or YouTube or somebody for ads to send that traffic. Now, the third type that's not on here is owned traffic. This would be your existing email list. And then the fourth step on this fastest path to 7 figures is to ascend your customers to additional offers, i.e., once someone buys something, you have to sell them more things, more products, more services, more offers. Okay, this is just the way it is. So let me give you the 9 mindsets and expectations. Excuse me. The number 1 that I want to stress you guys is a very well-known one amongst anyone in the business or the game, but one that people like to reject. And it is this. Whatever it is you do probably is not going to work the first time. Sorry, I had to get drink water there. It's just the truth. This is not a judgment to you. This is true for all of us. Most of the time, it's not going to work the first time. Now, I'm not telling you it's not going to work. I'm telling you that you might have to change ad copy. You might have to change an offer. You might have to change a price. You might have to change some photos. You might have to do a new video. You might have to re-record the webinar. You may have to record a new training. It just probably is not going to work the first time. This is important because you need to have the expectation that this is not going to be a easy button. This is not going to be like, hey, you built it and now it's done and now you get a new house and a Lamborghini. It doesn't work that way. Number two, this is another big one for people. Imperfect action beats perfect planning every time, which is followed up by done is better than doing, which is followed up by minimum viable concepts I mentioned to you on the earlier slide. Now listen, if you take these three things, what it means is you have to get things just done and out the door. Now I want you to know I practice what I preach, so in this presentation you're watching right now, this is not perfect. The slides don't look beautiful. They're not branded at all. Nothing's animated. This is just real information right here. This is just information I put together that's real training. And I want to share something with you on the same point. Is I heard it said once that if you want to impress people, make things sound complicated and sophisticated. If you want to help people, just make it simple, easy to understand. And that's my goal here, right? Is I'm taking imperfect action to deliver to you content that I believe can help save you weeks, months, maybe years, thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of dollars if you'll just watch and pay attention, because the next set of this training is going to be, like I said, very likely the most valuable piece of training you get when it comes to online marketing. So moving on, the fifth mindset and expectation you want to understand is simple is sexy. Number 6, earning versus learning. Now what I mean by this is I want to make this distinction. I'm not telling you shouldn't be learning. I dedicate time every single day to learn and get better at my craft, but not at the expense of earning. I made this mistake for a long time. I see a lot of people doing it. They feel like they can't take action, they can't make offers because they need to learn something new. Okay, don't make that mistake. Number 7, money loves speed. Money loves speed. Number 8, evidence is important, you guys. When you launch something, you want to get evidence as quickly as possible so that you can make dated decisions over assumptions and opinions. Okay, so that's the 9 mindsets. I recommend you write those down. I recommend you commit them to memory. I recommend that you practice them every single day. Okay, let's jump into it. Now, the 4-step framework, I'm going to give you the overview right now, and I want to give you a caution before I even go into this. I want to caution you not to dismiss this due to the simplicity. When I came up with this, I was consulting for a 7-figure earner who quickly, in the year and a half I was consulting with them, became an 8-figure earner. I'm not taking credit for that. I've certainly played a pretty important role in that. But what happened is that company, they grew. They were sales heavy. They were making sales every single day, which meant that in a very short span, we went from doing one client development to dozens of client developments, and each client had dozens of funnels. So it was an exponential growth. And what was happening was development was behind, clients were unhappy, and that's when I came up with this strategy. So let me give you some context. The strategy, what it did for us is it helped us set expectation with clients and the sales department. It allowed the sales department to accurately predict development schedules. It allowed the sales department to actually predict that accurately and use it as a tool to show how busy they were to set scarcity and urgency in helping to close deals. That was number 1. Number 2, the clients went from being unhappy to raving fans because now they suddenly had a very clear picture of what they bought, what they had delivered, what they were still owed to be delivered, and when they could expect it. Now, the benefit of that is that you are here map, right? Everybody knew exactly where everything was. So it became a very effective project management tool. So now they've given me the context. Let me tell you the 4 steps. So number 1, strategy. Number 2 is building. Number 3 is launching. Number 4 is optimizing and scaling. Now listen, at the surface, at the high level, it sounds very simple, but let me tell you something. Strategy number 1, I think most of us know that if we have any hope of getting somewhere, we should probably first know where we're going to go. Unfortunately, when it comes to online funnels, most people skip the step altogether. And the majority who actually take the time to do a strategy, they end up doing it wrong. Now, they end up doing it wrong because typically they're hiring a quote-unquote guru who is working hard to impress the client. Therefore, they're making it sophisticated and complicated. An example of this is I was consulting for a client who I resigned from because we didn't see eye to eye on integrity. But one of the things that got brought up was when I was sharing this concept with that client, like, hey, why would you present that, which is overwhelming, when you could just present this, which will probably get them the result they want quicker and easier and for far more affordable. And the answer he gave me back was, I can't sell that solution, Drew, for $100,000, whereas I could sell this one for $100,000. So his focus was not on the result. His focus was on closing the $100,000 sale versus a $10,000 sale. Whereas I choose to focus on the result, less about the sale amount. So remember, if you want to impress people, make it sophisticated. If you want to help people, keep it simple. So I'm going to show you in just a few minutes the better way to do strategy. Now, number 2, building. This is where most people start. I would say 90% of people start right here, right? They get into their ClickFunnels or their GrooveFunnels or their new page builder, and they start building, and they end up with dozens or hundreds of incomplete funnels that are not working, no traffic, no profits coming in, and they get stuck. They end up getting frustrated, overwhelmed, and they quit. Maybe you felt that way. Number 3, launching. This is where most people just quit. This is where most people either quit and they go back and start at step 2 again and work on a new idea, or they spend a couple dollars on ads and then they quit. So for instance, the other day I was working with a client, spent a few $100 on ads and was ready to just fire everybody and start over because it wasn't working. But remember the mindset and expectation. The number 1 I told you, it's probably not going to work in the beginning. You have to fight through these. If you don't, you're going to get frustrated, overwhelmed, and quit. So I don't want you to worry if you feel that way. I'm going to give you some proven strategies of how you can get started with paid ads and organic. And then step 4 is optimizing scaling. You can put a little asterisk by this. This is where 90% of people make money. But on the flip side, most people never make it to this phase. So if you want to be successful online, if you want to start making money online, and if you are not that person that walks into a 7-Eleven and wins a lottery ticket, you're like everybody else, you need to have an effective strategy. I'm going to show you how to do it in just a moment. You need to get things built, your conversion mechanism. You need to get it launched, and you need to get to the optimize and scale phase, okay? So hopefully you wrote this down. Now, let me give you a visual here. So in the strategy, there's 5 elements. Number 1 is, what's your offer strategy? Number 2, what's your funnel or your conversion mechanism strategy? Number 3, what type of content do you need to execute that strategy? Number 4, how are you going to launch it? And number 5, what kind of traffic are you going to depend on? And then building. Remember the big gap. Most people talk about building, they talk about building the funnel and the tech. They don't focus on the traffic system or the content. So I'm going to break this down for you in just a moment. And then launching, this is live traffic, right? Paid traffic, organic traffic, this is live traffic. Like it's live, it's working. People are clicking and viewing and opting in and hopefully buying stuff. And then the 4th step, optimize and scale. Remember, this is the conversion data, tracking data, and making data decisions, making adjustments, optimizing, tweaking. This is where you start to go from what's working, doubling down on what's working, getting rid of what's not working. You start talking about value ladders and additional offers here at this point. So, step 1, strategy. The first element is your offer. Most of you probably already have your niche down, but for those of you who don't, I wanted to give you a little value. So here's a little cheat sheet. If you're just going to get started online, what niche are you going to serve? Who are you going to serve? Who's your ideal client? Now, if you don't know that, I'm going to give you a little framework. I apologize, I don't have it on the screen, but I'm going to give it to you. You can write it down. You can stop the video. If you're watching a replay or later, you can stop and play back. So here it is. I help, this is what you want to write down. I help blank get blank without blank by blank. Now let me fill those in. I help, the first blank would be your market or your target. I help coaches. I help chiropractors. I help dog groomers. get, the second blank is the result they want, right? I help coaches get more clients. That's the result. I help entrepreneurs, I help coaches, consultants get passive income, right? Whatever the result. I help dog groomers get more dogs to groom. Without, the third blank is the thing that they want to avoid, right? I help salespeople close more deals without making phone calls. I help client or coaches get more coaching clients without prospecting. By the last fill in the blank as path or method, this is, right, like the path for me is online marketing or webinars or sales funnels. That path or method, this is what you are selling people on. If you can get people to believe that the path is the only way they can get that result they want, then it becomes easy for them to want to do business with you. Now, the next thing you want to do is decide what you're going to offer. A big part of that offer, you need to deal with what problems your prospect has and how does your product solve that problem. Then you need to come up with your price and value. There's a ratio here that most people say it's a 10x. I think you can be anywhere in the 5 to 10x. Okay, what this means is if your product is $100, then you want the value to be $500 to $1,000. Okay, so if your product is $1,000, if your price is $1,000, you want your value to be in the $5,000 to $10,000 range. And then one of my favorite sayings is the money is in the math. What this means is you need to reverse engineer this. So whatever your goal is, your income goal, so let's say you have $100,000 as a goal. Let's say your price is $1,000. Well, if you say I want to make $100,000, my price is $1,000, that means I need to make 100 sales. And then you need to figure out, well, how many leads do you need to get those sales? And you've got to figure out your conversion ratios. Now, you might not know these in the beginning. You're going to just have to figure that out as you go. There are certainly some formulas for different markets that I can share with you. But before we get into that detail, you just need to kind of reverse engineer this, right? So if I need 10 sales, and let's say that my closing ratio is 50%, that means I got to talk to 20 leads. Do you follow me? And then the next key is you want to come up with what's called the objection matrix. So take a sheet of paper, draw a line right down the center. On the left-hand side, write all the pain points and objections why somebody would have not to buy whatever it is you're offering. And then on the right side, this is critical, you guys, on the right side, you want to come up with a story that you can tell to deal with that objection. The key in this is stories that sell. You want to use the story to show them that you or a client or someone that you know had that same challenge, that same objection, and then through their story, you're going to break down their limiting belief and build them a new belief system, okay? Now, here's an example, the money's in the math. Here's just an example. On the right side, I showed you the yellow were fields that we could change. These are the conversion hinges, I call them. And it shows if we had ad spend of $5,000 and we paid $1.25 a click, we'd have 4,000 clicks. If we had 25% opt-in rate on our page, we'd have 1,000 leads, which would mean we pay $5 a lead. If our sales page converted at 3%, we'd make 30 sales. That means our customer acquisition cost would be $166.67. And if our average deal value was $270, that means we would have $8,100 in gross sales. Okay, which would be basically a 1.6 ROI. And so we always want to do the numbers. We're always kind of working backwards. Now, one thing that people ask is like, well, Drew, like what type of course should I create? And there are really 3 ways that you can do this, you guys. One, what results have you gotten for yourself or your clients? What experience have you overcome? Right? Maybe you've lost a ton of weight. Maybe you've overcome a bankruptcy. Maybe you've overcome cancer. Maybe you've overcome an abusive relationship. Maybe you've overcome moving to a new country with no money and not speaking the language. Right? whatever your experience is, that's something that can be converted to a course. And what skills do you have? So are you really good at PowerPoint? Are you really good at Canva? Are you really good at Excel? Like, there's whatever you're really good at, that can also be a course, right? And how to course. And I want you to understand that when we ask, like, what's an actual online course? Well, years ago, it used to be pretty well defined. It was like just an evergreen, on-demand course. But now, really, online course is used as anything. It could be a live training. It could be a workshop, a mastermind. It could be an evergreen course. It could be a course you teach live. It's really simply the transference of your knowledge, your skill, to the person who is willing to pay for it. Now, there are 7 steps to a really good offer framework. The promise, like what's the big promise? What's the end result that someone's going to likely get? What's the process, like where they have to go through to get that? What's the price? What's the bonus? What's the risk reversal? Everyone wants to know that they can take some action, make some commitment with feeling and feel like they have some out. Okay, so money back guarantee, extra coaching, whatever it is, you want to take the risk away from them. Every offer needs to have scarcity and urgency. They feel cheesy, sometimes it feels icky to do, but it works and you need to do it. If your offer does not have those, your conversions are going to suffer. And then, I alluded to this earlier, is every offer needs to have a story. Everything you do needs to have a story. So, we're still in step 1, which is strategy. Now we're talking about your conversion mechanism. Again, remember I mentioned this does not need to be a funnel. In the beginning, you can keep this simple. Simple is sexy. Here's some examples. I know people that do 6 figures a year with nothing more than direct messages. I know people that do 6 and 7 figures with nothing more than phone and email. I know lots of people that do 7 and 8 figures with video and funnel. So an example might be you might have a lead, comes into a funnel, maybe they opt in, maybe they apply, maybe they have a call with you, and maybe they become a client. Maybe they opt in to something, and then maybe they buy something right away, right? Like a book funnel or something. And then maybe there's a one-time offer, and then maybe they go into a membership. Maybe you make a Facebook comment, and then you message them, and then they become a client, and then they go into a membership. So there's no right way or wrong way here. There's just proven ways that work, and the best way is the way that you're comfortable doing. So strategy and content, we're really starting to get into the gap right now. So we're going to talk about content, and we're going to go left to right. So you're going to have free content or paid content. When you're creating the content, you want to ask yourself, is this for the top of my funnel, the middle of my funnel, or the bottom of my funnel? And CAL, remember this from the blueprint. So I'm going to tell you what this means right now, and I'm going to give you the blueprint and make all this make sense in just a moment, but it's the consumer awareness level. Are they at the bottom of the funnel, the middle of the funnel, or are they top of the funnel? Are they aware they have a problem? Are they aware that there's solutions? Are they aware of you? Like, where are they in their buying cycle? And then PCF is the profitable content framework. I'm going to give you a framework for this. All right, maybe you've created content and nobody engaged. Nobody liked, nobody commented, nobody called you, nobody direct messaged you. That's a problem, right? You're too busy to just be creating content that's not going to work for you. So I'm going to give you the profitable content framework. And then just some different types of content. There's emails, social posts, ads, images, memes, videos, webinars, articles, podcasts, books. There's really no shortage of the type of content you're going to create. The thing is, you just want to have a strategy, an intention, an objection for that piece of content. And you need to, with that intention and that goal and that vision for the content, you need to know where you are leading that person to. Okay, so we'll break this down here in just a moment. Now, as we move into, right, so we went here, you decide if you're going to free or paid, where they're going to be at, top of funnel, middle of funnel, or bottom of the funnel. So here is a acronym that I learned that shares with you how to move people through the consumer awareness level. So the first one is belief, right? You want to create content here that gives people hope, that shows them that it's possible, that gets them to believe that your path, your method, your product is possible, and then it's possible for them. Okay? This is really at the top of the funnel. This content, the belief, at the top of the funnel. Then the people who interact and engage with that content, then you need to show them other content that continues to engage them, continues to build trust, credibility with them, that entertains them, that educates them. And the people who interact with that, you want them to start seeing content that has more direct call to actions. Opt in here, download this, buy this, join this, right? You're moving people from there into the transact. At the transact, we're trying to clean things up. We're trying to make the strongest call to actions we can. And so the transact, these are the hot people. These are people that are, they've looked at your order form. They're on the fence. And you want to think about this content that you're trying to create of like, what is the content for, right? What was the intention? Is this a top of the funnel content that needs to get people to believe in this? Is this the middle of the funnel where I need to engage them and entertain and educate them? So that's the example of the consumer awareness level. And when you're creating your content, this is the first step. What type of content are you creating for your client at what level they're at right now? Here's an example of a MVP funnel. And I'm going to break this down for you. I apologize, I could have broke this up into slides, but I didn't. So I want you to look at this and realize the first phase one, draft one of this MVP funnel would have really been my traffic, my Facebook profile, a low ticket offer here, and that's it. The reason being, you guys, is if this offer does not convert, they're never going to see this stuff. Once this offer is converting, I would then add this and get this to convert. And then I would add this. And then I would add this. Or the confirmation would be right after any purchase. But you get the point. Like, I'm not going to go in and build everything out in the beginning, because until I can get people into here, nothing else matters. Now, if I can't get people into here, I'm going to continue to test and check this out. But I'm also going to have a retargeting audience set up so that if these people are seeing it but they're not taking action, after a few days, I'm going to send them to an opt-in to try to get them to opt in to join my world, join my email list by giving them something of value. Okay? The other thing I want you to understand is that these green circles are custom audiences that I'm having Facebook or AdRoll or whatever the ad platform is to build an audience based on people who have seen those pages but not taken the other action. This way I can retarget them based on where they are at in my funnel. I can show them a message on the ad to match the funnel page, to match their email. Okay, this is very important and oftentimes becomes the most profitable ad strategy that any of us can implement. Now, building content, the profitable content framework. You need to understand the key to profitable content is you have to be solving problems. Right? So how are your clients searching for the solution? This is important, this question, the third one. How are your ideal clients searching for the solution? This is really key if you're creating content on things like Google and YouTube, because those are search intent search engines. That question is not necessarily that important if you're using Facebook, but if you're going to use YouTube or Google, you want to make sure that you are creating content that solves problems for your ideal clients, and you want to know what they're searching for. So here is the profitable content framework. I learned this from a young lady not too long ago. So I want to show her. It's called EXPERT, is the acronym, E-X-P-E-R-T. So the first step is educate. Your content needs to educate people. So in my case, I want to educate you right now on how to get started making money online and avoid pitfalls. Your experience, you need to share your story. So my story was how using incomplete formulas in the beginning years always led me to hitting the wall. You need to solve problems. My intent is to solve problems here today by giving you a complete blueprint and some actual frameworks. And again, at the end of this, I'm going to show you on one slide how you put all this together to take action. And then execution. I'm going to show you how you can execute this using, this is all right out of the Launchpad training, so I'm going to show you how you can use that. You need to make your content relevant to your ideal client's pain. So most of my clients who come to me have either hired a guru and paid him tons of money and got no results, or they're just trying to figure out how to get started. Like, they don't even know how to get started. They're stuck at the gate. And then your content needs to give the people the way to take action, right? So for instance, at the end of this training, I'm going to give you the opportunity to schedule a free call. And when we get on the free call, I will explain to you how my mentorship program works. And together we can decide if it's a good fit for you. There's no pressure, there's no obligation, but this is me practicing what you need to practice, which is you need to create content that educates people, shares your experience, solves problems, it's relevant to where they're at. Because if it's not relevant to where they're at, right, you're not with them in the consumer awareness level, they're not going to engage with the content. They're not going to take action. So here's a template for you. You need to address the pain point, right? You need to feel like and insert the pain point, right? Feel lost, unsure how to proceed, feel frustrated and overwhelmed that your funnel's not converting. Here's how to, and then you enter your solution and the desire in 3 simple steps. Educate and execution. Educate with a simple step-by-step instruction action plan, which you'll notice here just at the end of this, I'm going to give you the exact how to pull all this together. Experience. You need to reference your own experience, solving, overcoming the problem. Problem solved. This is just one of the ways that my clients get result, right? So I could say this just one of the ways that my clients get their funnels to convert and start making money. Take action. If you want the outcome, so this would be the outcome of your program. So, for me, right, I could say to you like, hey, if you want to get your online business launched, built, and optimized, start making money right away, leave a comment below. If you want help making your first $1,000 online, comment below. If you want help making your first $100,000 in the next 6 months, comment below. Right? But it could be anything. It could be like, hey, if you want your dog to be groomed in a way that you'll never have to groom them again, comment below and find out. If you want to find out how to flip homes without ever going to see a property, comment here. So step 3, launching. Pre-launch, beta launch, one of my favorite ways we've done this for years is where you sell something before you create it. This is important. People have issue with this, but here's the thing, you guys, when you do it this way, you make sure you're actually delivering content and solutions that people really want. Open and close cart, this is like the traditional launch, evergreen, or buying data. These are different ways that you can launch. I'll go into those a little bit later. If you're going to launch organically, here's my favorite strategy. It's called the Uber method. I call this because, excuse me, just like Uber, they don't own cars. You could do this without owning a group or having a community. So I like to go into groups where my ideal client is hanging out, and I like to use this little acronym, QRFCM. I ask questions, I answer questions, I reply to people, I friend request them, I cheerlead them on their success, what they're doing, and then I get in a message with them, right? Direct message them and build a relationship. That's simple. Another one is it's IDVICF, or not ID, IVICF. So I share my idea in a post, I share my vision, I invite people to comment or send me a message, and then I give them a call to action, join something, and then I follow up with those who don't. Really simple. Here's an example of an ad. This is, or not an ad, but a post. I pulled this from Dean Gracioso's course, where he shows you, look, he has a great photo here. He has a headline, curiosity-invoking headline. And then he has a emotion-grabbing hook, problem and solution, and straightforward call to action. Okay, very simple, great process. Now, here's an example of the Uber method. I'm going to show you two. So here's an example of how a guy named Brad posted in a group that he did not own, offering this. I responded. He said to leave a comment. I did. He sent me this. I said, I responded, and he says, here's the offer. And when I clicked on that, it took me over here where I watched a video and I could enroll. And then I started getting emails. So here's an example of how I did. I posted in a group that I don't own. I got a response. I sent them to an order form. And I did this exact same thing and made about 10 grand in the month of April by this exact model. So believe me when I tell you the Uber method works. If you're going to do paid ads, I want you to understand, go back here. Ads, there's so many people that tell you how to do ads. And they're all right, they're all also wrong, but there's only 4 things really. There's the offer, like what are you offering? There's the audience, who are going to show it to? There's the words, which is the copy that you type out, and then the creative, which is the photo or the video. That's it. Now, I told you to show you how to put all this together. So step 3 is, I got a typo here, this is not building, this is launching still, And here's the blueprint, 4AE, which is 4 ad elements: the offer, the audience, the copy, and the creative. CAL, consumer awareness level, the 4 stages are the belief, engage, educate, entertain, lead, and transaction. PCF, profitable content framework, the type of content you need to decide, is it free or paid? Is it top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, or the bottom of the funnel? And then how are you going to educate them? How are you going to share your experience? What problems are you going to solve? How are you going to show them how to execute it? Make sure it's relevant to their pain point, and then give them an option to take action. Okay, and then under offers, your offers need to solve problems. Your price needs to be 5 to 10x of the value. So again, if your price is $100, your value should be 500 to 1,000. If your price is $1,000, your value should be 5,000 to 10,000. And then the 7th step, irresistible offer. IO is irresistible offer framework. Is you have to make a promise, you have to give them the process, you have to give them the price, which is again at a 5, 10x value. You have to give them bonuses. That helps create that 5 to 10x value. You need to take away the risk. You need to have scarcity and urgency in that offer, and you need to share your story. And then conversions and sales, the best way to do this is through tracking sheets, so you can make data decisions, not assumptions and opinions. And that gives you the C $, conversion profit. So there you have it. You can see it right over here under traffic. You have your 4 ad elements. You have your consumer awareness level. You have your product content formula. You have your irresistible offer framework. And when you track your sheet, track your data, and you make data decisions, you get conversion profit. So optimizing scale, what do you optimize? How do you scale? Well, a few of the most common ways are more ads, right? You clone successful ads, you double down on ads, you increase ad spend. All of that is increasing traffic to get you more opt-ins, right? On the opt-ins, you can scale by adding additional lead magnets, additional ways or entry points into your funnel. Video views, if you have videos out there, you can continue to optimize them, tweak them so that people engage with them more, that people watch more. You can increase sales, optimize by scales by raising prices, adding value ladders, adding additional offers, ascending people to higher tickets. And you can also optimize scale by reducing refunds. These are just a few of the ways. Another way is that you can really set up your retargeting. And some of the retargeting basics are this. The 3 most effective ad sizes are right here: 300 by 600, 250 by 300, and 728 by 90. These are shown on the display, like banner display networks. So when you go to sites and you see these banner ads, that's what these are. The 8 different recipes, I learned this from a guy named Justin Burks, is the cart fixer, right? Like cart abandonment. People view the cart, they don't buy. How do you retarget those people? Or the blog or content monetizer, the people that are consuming your content, retarget them. Instant celebrity. These are the ads you most often see where people are branding themselves everywhere. They feel like everywhere you go, they're there. Face-to-face, the microwave, the grease funnel, the webinar assistant, and earnings multiplier. These are all very specific ad recipes that you can put in place, and basically just moving clients based on their behaviors and what content they're viewing and how they're interacting with you, what ads it's showing them. Okay, and the 4 types of retargeting ad strategies are what's known as the brander, the product reminder, the instant celebrity, and the fence jumper. Okay, so I don't expect you to necessarily know what those are right now. I want you to understand that this is how you start to scale. And if you're watching this video, it's most likely you're in the very beginning, so don't worry about this right now, but now you have a good idea. Here's an example of a tracking sheet that we used on a webinar. This webinar went from 0 to $220,000 in 10 days. And then the wheels fell off the bus. We could not figure out what happened. We started tracking data on this very sheet. We ended up tracking this webinar for 22 months. At 22 months, I left the project, so I stopped tracking it. But during the 22 months, we went from essentially 0 to $3.6 million. And I attribute that to tracking. So an example, we tracked every single day. The gray columns are the weekly totals. And we did that so that we had week over week trends, month over month trends, and quarter over quarter and year over year. And we tracked this so we had the daily ad spend, the daily clicks, cost per clicks, attendance, missed, like no shows, watch replay, refund, product sales, earnings per click. Like we had every single conversion point, and I attribute that to helping us go from 0 to $3.6 million. So let me ask you a question, you guys. Would you like a mentor to hold your hand, to help you craft and test your offers, to help you build converting funnel mechanisms, help you with all the tech? Would you like someone to help you choose the best tools and platforms for you? Would you like someone to help you grow your audience? Someone to help save you countless hours of trial and error, and to save you thousands of dollars on courses and scripts and templates? Like, what if you didn't have to buy any of that anymore because your mentor could just give that to you on a silver platter? Would you like someone that could help you get your organic traffic strategies executed right away so you can get sales coming in right away, that you can use that revenue to fund the further development of your funnel and further ad spend? Would you like someone to help you get paid, get your paid traffic campaigns launched and working and effectively? How would you like someone to help you get more leads, more clients or customers? Or what if you're doing high ticket sales? Would you like a mentor that could help you close high ticket sales over the phone, that would actually do calls with you? Or would you like a mentor to help you create a webinar that converts? Well, you might be asking, sure, but what is the mentorship, Drew? Well, in simple, it's everything you need to succeed. Weekly coaching, support, mentor, FAQ calls, tools, resources, scripts, templates, funnels, and so much more. Think of it as your personal time machine. Now remember, you can go learn all this stuff yourself. You can figure out what to call your brand and how to build your funnel and how to create your offers and how to find and sell clients, how to run ads. You can figure out all this stuff. There's plenty of free content online. The question you just have to ask yourself is, do you want the most direct path? It's not a shortcut, but it's the most direct path. Or you want to take the long, hard, costly path. I want to tell you that this mentorship is absolutely not for you if you'd rather struggle working hard than working smart. If you enjoy figuring out everything on your own, or if you already feel like you have everything figured out, then it's not for you. This is not for you if you have a tendency to be negative, whine, complain, or blame outside circumstances for your results. This is not for you if you're absolutely content where you're at right now. And if you're not interested in doing the work that's necessary to really make this happen, then this is not for you. But on the flip side, this is for you. If you're just starting out and you're looking for step-by-step guidance, or if you've been at it for a while and you just can't get to the next level, you're hitting those walls like I were. Or this is for you if you're unsure how to get started or what to do next. This is for you if you're tired of struggling in business alone, right? I know firsthand that when you're an entrepreneur and you're working this, that sometimes family member and friends have no idea what you're doing and it can get very lonely. So if that's you, this is for you. This is also for you if you're ready to start making money, like right now. Like this week, you're ready to get offers out there, test and validate, and you're ready to get through all the shiny object noise, and you're ready to just start focusing on the money-generating activities, about money in your bank. This is for you. This is for you also if you're overwhelmed and you're tired of chasing all those shiny objects. Now listen, if all this did for you was finally give you the fastest path to launching your expertise so you can start helping others make an impact in the world and get paid for it, wouldn't it be worth it? Or what if all it did was just give you a swift kick in your butt to help you get moving? Wouldn't it be worth it? Excuse me. And what if all it did was enable you to finally have the impact that you've been wanting to have? Wouldn't it be worth it? I think it would be, you guys. So here's what you do. You can get started this mentorship. There's two options for you. You can get started for as little as $37.50. There's two payments of that, $37.50 today and $37.50 in 30 days. Or you can save even more and make one payment of $6,000. Now I want you to know this mentorship is going to be to walk you through my 60-day Launchpad program. I'm going to do a one-to-one strategy session with you, just you and I. I'm going to have my team design and build out all your funnel mechanisms, setting up all the tech. I'm going to give you access to all of my 7-figure scripts and templates and frameworks. This includes a whole library of Canva documents and templates, webinar slides, VSL scripts, email scripts, ad scripts. I'm going to give you all of that, and then I'm going to coach you on how to take your content and plug it into these fill-in-the-blank scripts so that my team can then take that and build out your funnel and your email automations. Okay, in addition to that, I'm going to give you access to weekly phone calls to review your data and your conversion to show you what needs to be changed. And during this 60-day process, my team will make the changes for you. Again, it's a 60-day mentorship. You can get started for as little as $37.50, or you can save and make one payment of $6,000. Now, this Launchpad normally sells, when I do it privately, it normally sells for $10,000 plus 20% profit share. Okay, so you can get started right now. All you gotta do is go to drewburks.com/call, schedule a call. You and I'll jump on a call for about 15 to 30 minutes. I'm gonna ask you some questions. I'm gonna determine if you're a good fit for the mentorship. You get to determine if the mentorship's a good fit for you. And if we collectively agree that it's a good fit, I will send you a link so that you can get signed up and we can get you started right away. All right, thanks so much, guys, and we'll talk soon.